Today I figured I'd take you for a ride in Cicero, which is a D110 hardtop and a very beautiful blue. I'm normally not a fan of blue. I think I burned myself out on blue. For so many years, that's all I had was blue cars. But this color is special, and we call it Verbosca blue. So this color, if you look on Helderburg.com, you'll see a D90 that is the same color as this one, and its name consequently is Verbosca. But this color is similar to the color of the old classic Ford Thunderbird. And I came up with this color because many years ago when I was a little boy, my dad had a friend. He was an older gentleman that was in his 70s, and at that time my dad was probably in his 40s. And but my dad and him just really had a great connection. They just really hit it off, and his name was Hank. And Hank was quite the interesting guy. He was retired, but he was a retired CIA agent, is the story. And I believe it because you could just tell he was very worldly, very knowledgeable, very educated. He spoke a few different languages, but one of his dream vehicles that he always liked and he ended up buying was an old classic Ford Thunderbird, pretty close to this color. And the interior was more of a cream white versus this one is a Helderburg exclusive leather that's in a more of a tan beige color. But that's how the color became, is I found that old Ford Thunderbird color and we did a little bit of change to it. It's not a metallic color, it's a solid color, it's a non-metallic. But I will tell you, it makes a presence on the road that and I tell people that. I tell people a lot of times when you own a classic Land Rover Defender, the amount of attention you get is just really surprising. And I mean, it's not attention from people that are just Land Rover aficionados. It's attention from everyone. And in fact, I had a client, he just got his Helderberg, and he said, "Man, you weren't kidding, Paul. I had no idea the amount of attention I was going to get with my Helderberg." But it really is, and it's hard to imagine. But this color gets even more attention. So driving it, I don't know, maybe you're like me, that you like to wash your cars, get them all clean, and then you go for a drive. And a clean car just feels like it drives better. I know it's all in my mind. There's no such thing as, oh, it's clean, it drives better. But this color, in driving it, it's magical in the way that I feel like the truck feels very light and very flowy and very free, and it just kind of gives me a different feeling, personality wise, that it puts a smile on my face. I think it's that nautical feel, that, nautical and like the ocean and the blue skies and all that. I think that's what it really pulls in. And when I'm sitting here, I feel very, looking out over the bonnet with the blue, feels happy. And then you look at the interior and it feels like sand. And I mean, anytime you go to the beach, even me, that when I go to the beach, it always makes you feel happy. Granted, I'm only on the beach for about 15 minutes before I get sunburned, but I think it's just the bright colors and the bright interior makes everything feel light and happy. This one is a 5-speed manual transmission. We did work to the clutch, and the clutch slave, like we do on all the Helderbergs, the clutch is very easy to depress. It doesn't take any effort whatsoever. It is a 5-speed, like I said, and it's very easy to shift gears. And what's really cool about this configuration, along with the 300 TDI turbo diesel engine that we've reworked, this is performance tuned. It has custom injection pump, custom intercooler, custom cylinder head, custom exhaust. I mean, it goes, it scoots, and but it's just very easy to drive. It's very comfortable to drive. It has our road suspension on it, so it's a normal ride height. So it handles the road really well. The bumps are easy. I'm on an old country road, and that's where I figured I'd take a few minutes away from the farm, take this for a drive, and do a video for you on it. But it's a very bumpy road, and it handles it well. You see, I have the window down. It's warm, which is nice since it's usually cold here. And the proper driving position for a Defender is window down, arm on the windowsill, hanging out, and just enjoying the drive. You can hear that motor, which is nice. I have a lot of people ask me about, oh, when are you going to do electric? And we do offer EV version Defenders, but there's something magical about that turbo diesel and the clack of the engine. I've got the vent open below the windscreen, so the flaps below the windscreen, window down, so you can hear that wind noise. But why wouldn't you on a warm day when we have 7 months of winter? We're thankful for warm days like this. So right now I'm just lugging it in fourth gear up and down these hills, not having to change gears up and down to climb and all that, and just driving at a comfortable, 35 to 45 miles an hour. It does have the BF Goodrich KO2, which is an all-terrain tire versus a mud terrain tire. And that's one of the decisions you have to make if you decide to do a build with me is, are you going to do it lifted with mud tires, or are you going to do more of a beach cruiser? And I feel like this is more of the beach cruiser style. So as I mentioned, the name of this build is called Cicero, and you can see more pictures, more videos on helderburg.com. But I think if you follow me for a while, you'll start to notice that everything has a build, every build has a name, and there's meaning behind all the names. And I get asked that a lot, where do I come up with the names? And it has a meaning. It really does. So if you were to Google Cicero, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you would start finding information about basically the Emperor Cicero and the mindset, the philosophy of being Stoicism. And so Google that, you'll read about it. And the reason that I came up with Cicero is because the original owner of this vehicle, a geographic location to where the vehicle came from, but just also the owner's personality was very stoic, very interesting, and which allowed me to come up with the name Cicero for this build. And then, of course, as I was thinking about it and designing another Defender, which is called Stoic, a recent one, a D90 soft top, which, by the way, you should definitely check that one out on the website on helderburg.com, because it's a Ferrari blue color, but it's just beautiful. It's stunning. And so that's why that one became the name of Stoic. But Cicero is the name of this one. And I think it's very fitting, especially if you read about the history of Cicero. So you've heard me say it before, but why do I love a Defender so much? And I think it's the emotional of it. It's the emotional connection of you're getting into a vehicle. It's not doing everything for you. In other words, you're driving it, you're feeling the drive, you're controlling it. We're not dealing with traction control and lane departure and all of those things. So you get away from all of that. It just allows you to become more with the vehicle. So I love a Defender because it gives you that sense of adventure. When you get into it, it's not that all the plastic around you. It's not a modern vehicle in the sense of that. It's much more utilitarian, and it gives you a sense of adventure. That's really what it's all about. That it makes you feel like you're on an exploration, even though you're on some backcountry road, and or on the highway driving somewhere. It just makes you feel like an explorer. And then, as I mentioned earlier, just the amount of appreciation that people have for a Defender, even if they're not into cars, they have appreciation. And I mean, I've driven G-Wagons in the past, and Ferraris and Lamborghinis and all that. I've had a lot of, Bentleys. So I've had a lot of very nice, exotic, rare, expensive cars, and none of them get the type of attention this gets or the type of appreciation. In fact, in the G-Wagon, when I would drive the G-Wagon, people thought I was trying to show out. And some people were offended by it. And when I'm in the Defender, it doesn't matter the person's education level, their income, male, female, little boy, little girl, or grandmother. They just appreciate it. And then when we do of course, with the restoration, they even appreciate it more. But a lot of times they mistake it. They're like, "Oh, is that the brand new Defender?" And I'm like, like the other day I had a woman, I'm like, "No, ma'am. It's a 1996 model." See more pictures of Cicero, check it out, helderburg.com. But thanks for hanging out with me. And we'll definitely do some more videos, maybe with a soft top really soon. Have a great week.